Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world we're in. This is another scene for Darkness in Dublin, the Changeling venue. This evening we find ourselves with two of our she, who have been finding themselves spending more and more time together as of late. This evening they are at a restaurant. You know the kind. High class, black tie, don't put prices on their menus. If you have to ask, well, you probably shouldn't be there. And I will let Sir Falaren do his intro, and then I will intro Saoirse.
Right. Sir Flaren has on a nice, finely tailored suit of the most expensive material. Uh, he's done up very nice. Uh, a lot of attention has been made on his appearance, and they will be entering this fancy of fancy restaurants. We'll say that he's got Saoirse on his arm.
Why, yes, he does. And she is in a long black gown. Though it does have a little bit of somewhat sheared out fabric throughout. The top is corseted, and the bottom is split up to just above her hip. Because she can't go without making a big, you know, entrance with her appearance. And she kind of leans into Sir Falerne.
They will enter the restaurant where they have arrangements have been made. They have a reservation. The maitre d', upon Flaren giving his mortal name of Sean Quinn, escorts them down to their seat, where Flaren orders a bottle of wine for the two of them.
So she'll just kind of smile a little bit, and she will sit down across from him.
Flaren would have pulled out the chair for you.
Oh, of course, he's a proper gentleman. She'll just smile a little bit. So, whatever shall we talk about over dinner?
Well, why don't you tell me about you?
Well, my parents. I was born here in Ireland. But when we were young, after my parents discovered that, well, I could sing, we moved to LA. They always wanted me to have a career in singing. And while I love it, I didn't really want all of the extra attention that fame would bring, but so I became a backup singer. And I've been a backup singer for, well, a very long time now. Since I was I think I got my first job at 16.
You see, yeah, you're a
And,
backup singer because you don't want the attention.
well, certain things have changed a bit since my chrysalis. Mm.
So now you're going to
And that's
become.
why I've started singing on my own. That's what I was doing when you first met me.
That makes sense.
I mean, my first solo singing gig was at Void Frost's wedding, so
I remember you telling me that.
apparently I made quite the impression.
I have a feeling that doesn't surprise you very much.
I mean, I didn't expect everything that happened afterwards, but
Spontaneity is important.
hmm, true. Though I have to say, the way the garden party ended the other evening was. Whew, mm-mm. That is not a kind of spontaneity I want in my life.
No, I imagine not. So it's interesting you bring that up.
Oh,
Earlier today, I was at the Goblin Market shopping for a new rug for the study
hmm.
due to nocturnal activities that has required it to be changed. And I came across a seer of House Bowman
Oh,
who says that he is from parts of South Africa and he is here because his house called him up here.
hmm, intriguing.
And as you know, since that house
Yes,
almost
they're.
exclusively hunts selling,
Yes, intriguing.
Willow was also there for that conversation.
Have you heard what happened at the garden party?
I've heard some. I'd love to hear your account.
I wasn't in the pools when it happened, but I have heard Willow's account of what happened. Evidently, the beep hookah. N- Natalie. Natalia, that was it. Attacked her. But there was clearly something wrong with her. She was dripping this black ichor.
Hmm.
When she tried to heal Natalia and see if it would help, it just caused more of the black to spew forth, and it started heating up the pool. There was no body to recover.
Totally dissolved.
Completely. Like she simply melted away. Alduin had to stop Willow from diving back in to try and save her.
And I imagine he's going to need to change his pool filters.
I imagine so. Though, from what I hear, it's being concreted over.
Wise.
And they're burning the swimsuit Willow was wearing because, well, understandably so.
Any adverse effects for Willow?
Not that we can see, other than her just being very upset about the puka.
That the puka attacked her, or for the puka's well-being?
For the puka's well-being.
That makes more sense for Willow.
Mm. She has a good heart.
Mm-hmm. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but she needs to temper it with pragmatism.
From what I hear, she's gotten a bit of a feisty streak lately.
Good.
And of course, that did require Voidfrost shooting her in the leg, but
Why did Void Frost shoot her in the leg?
oh heavens, okay. They got a lead on this black rabbit or whatever,
Yes.
and they wanted to, you know, infiltrate, I suppose. And they needed to make it look like they were bringing her in injured. Well, initially they tried, apparently punching her in the face.
Void Frost idea?
No, it was her idea,
Okay.
and it was simply not enough damage. It was a minor bloody lip. So when Willow said it needed to be worse than that, Voidfrost just took out his pistol and shot her in the leg.
Okay. Subtle.
Subtle, not really Voidfrost's specialty, I don't think. He doesn't seem to do subtle. But yes, that whole mess turned out rather poorly.
Sounded like it started poorly, too.
Apparently, it led to the chimerical death of the chef, bugger, Violet,
Okay.
the red cap, I believe.
Violet the Red Cap.
Yeah, she's a chef. I believe she did all of the cooking for Voidfrost's wedding. As well as the garden party, actually.
This morning, Willow was met her at the market, and she had mentioned that someone named Violet was interested in becoming a squire and joining House Ailill.
She kind of lifted a brow. It's probably one and the same.
I don't know how many violets that there are in Dublin that are also changelings.
I do know that they are good friends, so it would make sense.
And I agreed to have a conversation with this violet. And then from that conversation, I would decide whether or not I would pass the word along amongst the others.
She kind of reaches out and runs a finger along his jaw. Hmm.
No smile. But being a red cap, I don't have much hope.
Hmm.
That kith is not synonymous with subtlety.
No, no, they're not.
But the
But,
possibility always exists that you can use that stereotype against people. So there's,
hmm,
I will listen.
indeed. She has one hand kind of under the table, kind of just like running it along his thigh.
Shows no outward uh, reaction, except for a small smile.
Cool as a cucumber. I'm impressed.
Well, I'm as cool as I need to be until I don't need to be anymore.
Oh, I know that much.
And here I thought the Ailils were master manipulators.
Well, we all have our specialties.
Indeed, we do. I've got a bit of an inclination on what yours might be, or at least a portion of them.
I mean, clearly one of them is singing. Kieran, why? I just got a box flipped on me.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, Miss Seductress, how many men have you had in your web?
Oh, well, that's an awfully rude question to ask a lady, isn't it?
Normally, yes, it would be.
Mm,
Somehow, I don't think you find it rude. I
mm,
think you find it more as a compliment.
maybe.
You mean you take no pleasure in your ability to manipulate men's emotions, or women's emotions, depending.
Mm. I love that you managed to pin me down so quickly.
My lady, I am Ailill. I know a manipulator when I see one.
Very true.
Now, the question is, in this scenario, who is manipulating whom?
Maybe a little bit of both.
Could be a little bit of both. But there's nothing that says we can't have a little bit of fun while we play our game.
Very true.
So, how close are you to Willow?
Not terribly.
No?
No, I'm much closer to Alexis.
Hmm.
After all, I am his squire and his mistress.
Is Willow aware of this second title?
I think she's aware.
A little while ago, I started teaching her on rules of etiquette and how to survive as a baroness.
She seems to be doing okay so far. She hasn't been beheaded just yet.
We've had a few private tutoring sessions in my home.
Oh, have you now?
Not that private.
Sir Christian has inquired of vocal lessons.
Oh, Sir Christian. Or is it Squire? It's hard
I'm,
to keep
I'm
track.
unsure. I do recall Willow mentioning that she knighted him. I'm not sure she has the power to do so, but she very well might. I'm still new at all of this, after all.
In normal commoners, their power is a gray area. It all depends on their influence, whether or not their noble betrothed allows it and backs it. I guess it's more of a question to ask of Void Frost.
Very true. Her and Sir Christian do seem to spend a lot of time together.
A scandalous amount of time.
Possibly. I know they've been doing riding lessons. I would assume they mean of the horseback kind. But, well,
Hmm.
one can't help wonder.
Of course not. We're part of a changeling court. Gossip is what fuels it.
Exactly.
I wonder what Void Frost would have to do if he came out.
Oh, I have no doubts that Willow wouldn't live.
Not to mention Squire Christian.
Very
He's had a
true.
he's had a horrible run of luck.
Yes, his liege lord dying.
Just after expressing his disfavor by making Sir Christian Squire Christian, and then he gets murdered, leaving Christian as Squire. So he seems confused on the subject.
And yes, it would be quite the scandal.
Of her being unfaithful?
Hmm. Though I do fear that she intends to use Void Frost's own dalliances against him.
She'd better.
Now, that could come back on me too.
What are you referring to? Of course, Void Frost would not be unfaithful to his wife.
Exactly.
At least not publicly.
Precisely.
Everything's fine as long as it remains hush-hush. One of those poorly kept secrets. Once things come out into the open, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yes, and her and Sir Christian have been quite public about their meetings.
It's all rather fun, isn't it?
Hmm. By the way, her hair is styled very particularly,
Like in what
so
way?
that the tips of her ears are covered.
Makes sense.
Because, slipped seaming is a thing.
Right? Have you much interaction with this Violet?
I don't think I've ever. Oh, no, she was the one who gave me the bottle of vodka for Void Frost at the garden party. I think, anyway. I can't keep track of all of them. Oh my goodness, here, have a graham cracker.
Any first impressions?
She knew precisely what Void Frost wanted exactly when he wanted it.
Hmm.
He sent me off for the strongest alcohol in the building. Before I got too far, she stopped me and handed me the bottle of vodka.
Assuming Void Frost wants vodka to drink is not very astute.
Oh, he just wanted something strong. We met someone there who gave off a great deal of banality.
Mm.
It gave the poor thing a nosebleed. Luckily, I tend to keep handkerchiefs in my bag.
There's someone at the party with enough banality to give someone a nosebleed.
Mm-hmm.
Who was this person?
Luna Del Rossi, I believe. I think she's the lead singer of a metal band, if I recall.
Hmm.
But yes, it was a lot of banality.
And why was this person performing at a
I don't think
changeling
they were.
gathering?
I don't think they were performing. The event was open to the public.
Uh,
Anyone who wished to come and give their patronage to the botanical gardens could.
I see.
But that did lead to some interesting things. It also meant I had to take great care in how I did my hair.
It is a shame that you have to cover them.
Considering that I was a backup singer for metal bands, I could just say that it was a body modification, but combine it with my eyes and things get, well, a little more obvious.
I could see that.
Because as a general rule, you can't really. I don't wear contacts, so I can't really use it as an excuse. I could simply pop in a pair of contacts, but something about the idea of putting my fingers in my eyes just, no thank you.
It does seem like it would be unpleasant.
Yes, so dealing with my eyes is enough of a risk. I'd rather not combine it with my ears.
It took me some time to get used to this body.
Ah, yes. Keep forgetting you're Arcadian.
Yes.
I've been, well, in this body since I was born, at least this time.
I took this one. My timing could have been better.
Oh,
Yes, this one was driving a car.
oh heavens. I don't imagine that ended well, did it?
No. No, it didn't.
As I don't imagine, you know, that is a skill that you possess.
At the time, no. No, it was not. There was an accident.
I do hope you were okay. Clearly you survived.
Mm-hmm. The family in the vehicle was not so lucky,
Oh, it's unfortunate.
though one remains.
Oh,
The sister,
ah,
though she is permanently damaged.
it's unfortunate.
You will see her someday. I care for her at my state. She wants for
Wow.
nothing. She sees the finest doctors.
She kind of reaches out and takes his hand.
take her hand.
Hang on, I get you more graham cracker. It's okay.
I'm
Go.
not sure if it's my own guilt or residual guilt from this body or feelings for her, but
Hmm.
I
I
feel like I have to
suppose
care for her.
that is an interesting conundrum.
Indeed. But because of that, the body inherited the family businesses and a large sum of money, and I have been building on that since.
It's nice to actually get to know a bit about each other.
Hmm. Yes, it is.
She's actually going to get up out of her seat and move around and kind of settle into his lap.
He'll smirk a bit as people kind of look but don't look because this is an abnormal activity for such a venue.
And she's going to lean in and kiss him.
He will return the kiss.
What do you say we get out of here?
I think that is a really good idea.
Who needs dessert anyway?
I'm sure we'll find a suitable replacement.
Very true. And she will get up off his lap.
Flair will pay the bill with a generous tip.
And Saoirse will take his arm as they head out. I assume to head back to his estate.
Mm-hmm. For a nice, relaxing evening of watching Jeopardy.
Yep, totally what's going to happen.
Totally what's going to happen.
And with that, I think we can fade to black and end our scene. Thank you
Alrighty.
for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This is another scene for Darkness in Dublin, the Changeling venue. See you next time.